Hello, happy 2023 to you all. Thank you very much for joining me. It's a new year, got lots to talk about. Let's get going. So hello and welcome to Model Kit Stuff. My name is Jason. If you've not come along to the channel before and seen a catch-up video, I'll tell you all about it in a moment, but thank you very much for coming in. I'd like to start by wishing all of you subscribers and viewers a very happy, prosperous and constructive 2023. So if you're one of my new subscribers or recent subscribers to the channel, then what we do in a catch-up every month is just talk about what happened in the last month and what's coming up on the channel. And I thought we will stick to that format for this first one of the year, but we might just extend the view from a month to the year that's gone. And the year that's coming. I think that probably makes sense. So that means there is a lot to talk about, so let's get going. I really enjoyed 2022 from a building perspective, and I was really frustrated as well. I didn't get anywhere near as much done on the channel as I wanted to last year, and that's in no small part because of some of the builds I had going on. And in 2023 we're going to continue to clear the decks, and then I need to think a little bit more about what I've got on the channel and what makes sense for me. One of my reflections now that we're 2 years into having a modeling channel is that you cannot continue to build models the way you used to if you're also doing a channel, because the channel has a need as well and you have to feed that need. So the positive for me of a channel, a modeling channel, is it focuses my mind. And so rather than what I used to do, which is start a model, then another one comes along and I get into that. So I pause that one to start that one and end up with quite a lot of shelf queens, things that were started and never finished. But I guess we've all been there to a certain degree. Rather than doing that, I tend to finish my models. But in 2022, that drifted a little bit. And it wasn't because, it was in part because of starting some new stuff for various reasons. But it was also because of the size of the projects I had on. So I need to think about that a little bit more in 2023. Which I have been doing clearly. So let's start by having a little think about 2022, what we covered, and what 2023 is going to look like subsequently, because 2023 is going to have a bit of a different feel to it, inevitably. And I'm not even sure that I know exactly what that's going to be yet. So over the course of 2022, I've put out nearly 350 videos. Some of those have focused on tools, quick tips, product reviews. Some of them have focused on first impressions of kits, and then we've had builds, build updates, and one or two other things, like we did a trip to the Maritime Museum back in February. We did a trip to the Telford Model Show and so on, and a few shop card shout outs, or 2 shop card shout outs. So we've done all sorts of stuff, but the format has pretty much stayed the same. Those are the things that I focus on, because those are the things that I'm doing and want to share. And I've really enjoyed that. The channel has gone from strength to strength. It has more than doubled in size during the course of the last 12 months, and I'm massively grateful to each and every one of you for watching some or indeed all of those videos. I've had an absolute blast, and I want that to continue in 2023 because I'm really enjoying doing this. So the problem with 2022 for me was that we seem to get a little bit stuck in a bit of a quagmire of the models that we had. So when we entered 2022, we were doing Fly and we were doing the Queen Mary 2, and we're still doing them now as we're in 2023. So that is one of my key focuses of this year, to clear the backlog. I don't think we will finish the Fly during the course of this year. There's a lot to do on her, but we're certainly going to move her on a long way. We had a number of things that we did last year that will be coming up soon this year. Like, we will be having a look at the new Airfix catalogue when it comes out, and we will do that as a viewer on screen. Go and have a look at it, and you can come shopping with me just like last year, and as I work through the catalogue, decide what we're going to put on pre-order. So I will be doing that again. I think quite a few people enjoyed that. For a lot of people, it was their first look at what was coming out from Airfix. Airfix went on a bit of a journey in more ways than one during 2022. They improved their plastic, which in turn improved the detail sharpness in their newer release kits. They brought kits out that were technically far superior to anything they've brought out to date. They've changed their box designs a little bit, and if you're an Airfix member and you go on the Airfix website, they've made some changes there. So now, not only are you getting your flying hours that you can collect off the side of the box, you now get points on the website. So basically, the points, if you're not aware, if you go on the Airfix website now, or indeed the Hornby website runs exactly the same. I'm not sure about Humbrol. I've not looked on their website. But every time you spend something, you can collect points. So it's for every 100 points, you get £1 back. So if you're an Airfix member, you're getting your 10% off plus your points, and you've still got your flying hours. So it's a really good time to be a member of Airfix if you enjoy building Airfix kits, and I clearly do. As the channel has shown during the course of the year, we've built quite a few Airfix kits, and we ended the year with the Avro Anson, and I absolutely loved that kit. As you know, the one thing I had a bit of a struggle with was the engine nacelles. I want to build it again to have a look at tackling that again and finding the right solution from that. I know Nigel over at Nigel's Modelling Bench said he was very interested in that kit as well. It's the sort of thing he would sort out quite easily, and then the rest of us can just do what he did. So hopefully he might tackle an Anson as well. But I enjoyed the Anson. It was a really nice way to round off 2022. But there was a lot of stuff in there that I enjoyed, and a lot of stuff that was just really fun to work on. So I've enjoyed working on the tank, even though it's not a great model. And if you've been watching the Tiger videos, you know I'm not going to go back over that, but it's unlikely I'll buy that brand of kit again, because it's sloppy. It's sloppy is what it is. But the first build we completed in 2022 was the little Mercedes 170V for the small car build that was being run by the Scale Model Car Guide channel. So I really enjoyed that. I'm hoping in February he will do that again, and that will be a lot of fun to get it and tackle a car again. That was a beautiful little kit, little mini art kit, very detailed, lots of fun. A little bit of a fit issue around the bonnet, but that might have been me. But I really enjoyed doing it, and it'd been a long time since I'd done a car. But if they're doing it again in February, then in February 2023 we'll be building another car. Then we built the Airfix 1:48 scale Tropical Hurricane, and that was a real joy. It went together really, really well. It was nice doing the tropical camouflage. I really enjoyed that. We did a little bit of weathering, and we did, it had quite an unusual silver, red and green patterned leading edge. But yeah, it was a really nice build. We shared some weathering effects. I think it was the first time I talked about using pastel chalks for weathering. Had a lot of fun with that. Turned out all right. It was I was quite pleased with that. That was the second model we completed. And then we had the mini art tractor, something totally different. Seen one or two people do the tractors and thought that'll be something different. They're not expensive. Well, mini art kits I don't think are expensive really anyway when you look at what you get in them. But even for a mini art kit, it wasn't expensive, so £35, something like that. And it went together beautifully. We did some weathering on it. I think it might have been the first time you'd see me using weathering pencils. And yeah, had a lot of fun with that build. Really enjoyed the tractor. So that was the next build that we finished. The X3 Stiletto was my Christmas build of last year. And when I say Christmas build, I don't mean the build aimed at Christmas, because of course that was the Airfix starter set Focke-Wulf, which has been my mule through 2022. But no, what I mean is the build that I did over the Christmas period, with everyone in the house running around and lots of people about one way or another. It was impossible to record with sound, so that was done without any sound, and it was my first build that pretty much had music only. This year I will do it slightly differently, because during 2022 we got a new microphone, which we're using right now. And that allows me now to do good quality voiceovers, so I can record all that stuff. It doesn't matter what's going on in the background, because we can remove the sound and then I can do a voiceover. So that is the plan. We'll continue to work on this and then do some voiceover. So it might feel a little bit different than it has done. But a lot of you enjoyed the voiceover that we did late in the year. So I'm not worried about that at all. Then, of course, we had the Fairy Rotodyne, a very, very old kit. Went together really well for its age, particularly well. It looked really nice when it was done. I was really pleased with it. A lot of you enjoyed watching that come together. It brought back fond memories for some of you. For some people, they'd never heard of the Rotodyne before. Other people thought it wasn't actually a real aircraft, that it was something made up, or might have been, but it actually was a real aircraft, if that's what it's called. So yeah, I enjoyed that. That was an in-between build that got finished off, and yeah, really nice. So another Airfix kit, but this time one of the classics, and I do hope they re-release it, because I know they've got the tooling. I saw it on a video during the course of the year when someone was walking around the factory, so that will be interesting. We also built and finished the Mary Rose. So the Mary Rose was a model I started on a live stream, because when I was doing the live streams, that comes out of your hobby time. So I wanted to be doing something. Well, what I found was it was very difficult to concentrate on building something, concentrate on talking to people, and have a conversation. So I ended up deciding it wasn't possible to do model building, whilst on a live stream. And I ended up sort of largely abandoning live stream as something that we might do regularly. So we dipped our toe in. It's not for me, and it's not for me because it takes up so much time for quite a small response. It's something that if you're going to do live streams, bear in mind that they're often between 1 to 2 hours long, and that's 1 to 2 hours where you didn't do anything. So you've got to have that time free, and I just don't. So I'd rather spend 2 hours with my airbrush in my hand than 2 hours just talking. So we did do some live streams over some first impressions. So we did the Avro Anson as the first live stream, first impressions. Understanding what went well and what didn't on that, and then did it again when the 1:24 scale Spitfire came out from Airfix, and that went really quite well. So we will do live streams again. I enjoyed doing the live streams. I really enjoyed doing the live streams, but they don't work with me in the time I've got for my hobby. So we will do live streams again, and there'll probably be around some more first impressions or something. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out during the course of the year. That is one of my known unknowns. Again, another in-between build, but the Airfix 172 Mosquito we finished, and that was a lovely kit. That might be one of my it's certainly my favourite 172 scale kit that I've built to date. And it's up there in one of my favourite kits of all time. I really enjoyed that. A lot of you really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. There is some accuracy issues depending on what version of the Mosquito you want to build. But it was a lovely build. I enjoyed it. Came out really well, and it's got pride of place on my shelf right now. And then, of course, we finished the Anson just at the close of the year. So we completed a few models during the course of the year. On top of that, we did do quite a bit more on the Queen Mary 2. We started the Tiger and did a fair amount of that and the diorama that goes with it. We did a fair bit more on the Fly, getting us to second planking of the hull. What else did we do? No, we also started the Chipmunk, which didn't go to plan, and I haven't quite finished it, but I'm going to finish it. It doesn't need much to it. It's basically final assembly, a little scratch build item, but the decals I bought for it, dreadful. Painting it didn't go to plan. So the finish isn't where I'd want it to be. The 3D decals that I got for it, rubbish. Yeah, real rubbish. So it will look all right, as Ron Calvary at the model ship would say, at arm's length. It'll look okay, but I'm not happy with it. But we will finish it. We'll finish that at some point during the year. But yeah, we did start that. But also, which you didn't see, was I also built the ICM Ghost of Kiev kit, which you will see in February is the plan. So at this moment in time, as I record this, it is built into its sub-assemblies ready for paint. And I've got the ICM paint set with it. Now, I've not used ICM paints before, so we'll be doing a bit of a product review in the mix there, and painting that up and putting the decals on and coming out with that. And we'll aim to do that in February to mark a year of that terrible, needless war. There are some plans that I had for 2022 that just didn't happen. And this is one of them. This was a conversation that I wanted to have around some thoughts for an Ice Cold in Alex diorama if you were building the new Airfix K2 ambulance. So didn't get round to doing that, but I still intend to. That's why I've got it down here. So I did start previously doing an Ice Cold in Alex inspired diorama, inspired by the scene in the film where they're at the watering hole getting petrol just before the Germans advance on it. And I've got figures for that, and I wanted to talk you through my thoughts on the figures and my thoughts on the ambulance itself. So we will do that because I'd still like to do that. I think for people who are perhaps not done dioramas before, or relatively new to dioramas, I think a conversation around the thought process of a diorama before you start building is quite an interesting and important conversation to have. So yeah, this is something I started, have not finished, but I thought would suit a video on that subject, because I know a lot of you quite fancied doing an Ice Cold in Alex diorama, and there was a lot of people coming out with a lot of views which, quite frankly, I didn't agree with. I had hoped that the Tiger would be started and finished in a year, and that didn't go to plan. I had hoped to finish the Queen Mary 2 during 2022, and that didn't go to plan. So I'd hoped to actually finish the Queen Mary 2 by the September, and we're not even close at this stage. So some things just didn't quite go to plan, and at the back end of the year I decided to clear the decks, and by that I mean just focus on one thing, get it done. So I had a number of part-started models that had sort of built up during the year, and we started with those that were closest to being finished and the smaller projects, and get them all out of the way and then jump onto the big ones. So we've been working on the Tiger now for a couple of weeks, and yeah, it's going quite well. I'm quite pleased with how things are shaping up. That's the house. We're just working on the doors and the shutters at the moment, and they're getting sort of where I'd like them to be. So I'm having a lot of fun doing this, but it's made me realise in 2023 I need to be much more organised in what I'm doing. So what is actually going to happen in 2023? What's a given? Well, it's a given that we're going to finish the Tiger, because I'm not doing anything else other than Tiger until it's done. So we will finish the Tiger build in 2023. Then we're going to jump onto the Queen Mary 2. And the Queen Mary 2, can't think of a better way of saying this. It's a problem, because we're at that stage in the build where it doesn't actually lend itself to the traditional format that I do for a build video, because it's going to be very repetitive and people are just not going to find it interesting to watch. So my thought process with the Queen Mary 2 is to build and video like I would normally do, but do it in a more condensed way. So I will show you, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm going about it, and then do it on all those parts that require that, and then come back to you and say, right, okay, we've put this into place. So it'll be more of a review of, this is how I'm doing it, and then a review at the end of the process, which means that we'll be able to compact more of what's done into less videos. The downside of doing that is there isn't enough video content for build videos. So I do have to have something else going on. So the intention is that I will do the Tiger until the Tiger's finished, then jump onto the Queen Mary 2, and we will work on the Queen Mary 2 1 week on, 1 week off, getting it done. So there is certain time that I have in the week dedicated to modelling. So there's an evening I have dedicated to modelling. There's a morning I have dedicated to modelling, and every week that'll be Queen Mary 2 time. But in and around that, I'm able to grab other times, and in that other times I will do something else. Now, the mistake I made in 2022 is that something else will be a big project. So whilst I was doing the Queen Mary 2, which was a big project, I started the Tiger diorama, which was a big project. So that was a mistake in reflection. So it won't be something big, it'll be something small where I can do 2 or 3 hours of work on it and get 2 or 3 hours worth of video content that I can put up. That way, when I'm sort of doing an in-between bit in the Queen Mary 2, I can produce a lot of content. So I'm going to do some small models in amongst doing the Queen Mary 2. So the focus will be Queen Mary 2 all the way, but when things are drying or I've got a lunch break and I've got a little bit of time, I'll do the small ones. So although I'll be very focused on Queen Mary 2, my builds as they come out to you will be Queen Mary 2 or something else, Queen Mary 2 or something else, and you won't get like we did with the Anson, where every week was the Anson until it was finished, with the exception of the one I put in with the walrus because I hadn't quite had time to edit my video. So that's the plan. Get the tiger done, get Queen Mary 2 done. So what will come along after Queen Mary 2? The Gotha. You've been waiting long enough. I've been waiting long enough. That was another disappointment of 2022. I wanted to get it started in 2022. I am so excited to build that, and I think it's going to bring more people over to the channel. I know there's people waiting to see it. So once that's done, we will focus on the Gotha. And just do Gotha, and if I feel like we're not getting enough video content, I'll continue to build some of my small stuff. I've got a lot of little 1/72 scale aircraft that we can build, and some of the 1/35 scale trucks and things, which are models in their own right, not going on a diorama, which they can be built as well. After that, then I'm not sure. I've got a number of options. I've got the 1/200 Arizona. I've got the 1/350 Warspite, but that's depending on what White Ensign models say, and they've not come back to me yet, so it may be that they're on holiday about my stern gallery issue. Or it could be one of my shelf queens. So I've got a number of shelf queens. I've got the 1/144 scale Flower Class Corvette by Revell with Edward upgrade, which is halfway or a bit less done. So we could finish that. I've got an Atlantic Models HMS Liverpool, which is probably 3/4 done. So we could do that. That would be quite an easy build to finish. And I've got a 1/200 scale Mikasa that is a third of the way done, and that's got all the upgrades and stuff for it, and it's beautiful black hull, yellow upper works. Really nice. So that's another option. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but Tiger, Queen Mary, Gotha, they're my givens. I have a model show coming up in back end of January, usually is, in Bolton. It's not far away, it's half an hour for me, or a bit less to get there. So I think we're going to do that because we've not put that one on the channel before. Don't know if I'm going to go to Telford this year. If I don't go to Telford, I'll definitely do Stoke. I'm planning a trip to the Leyland Commercial Vehicle Museum, and we'll put that on the channel, so that'll be coming up at some point this year. I've got one or two builds that I've got photograph footage of that were builds that I did before the channel, like the Walrus. I'm going to put those together and make a little video. I don't think I've got anything quite as comprehensive as the Walrus, but I do have all of my build photographs step by step from the very start of my 1/200 Mikasa, so we can actually do that as a full build on the channel, which would be nice. So that's just some editing and some voiceover, so we could probably do a couple of those videos and lead into finishing that Shelf Queen off and turning it into a model on display, which would be nice. So I think it's possible that that could happen in 2023, but don't hold me to anything, because I don't know, and one of the things that's important to me is that I'm having fun. So if I'm getting bored of something, I am going to park it and do something else, as much as I don't like to. I do focus very much on what's giving me pleasure, but now I have a channel, I also have to consider what's giving you guys pleasure as well. So I tend not to stop things once I've started. The problem in 2022 was I just started too much. But ultimately, every model you've ever seen me review on this channel as a first impressions has the potential to appear in 2023. It could be any of those. When it comes to first impressions, they're going to slow down during the course of the year. We won't be getting as much of those. So the videos that come out are going to be slightly different. I think I've got enough to get us through to the summer, possibly, on first impressions, by which time I'm hoping that Airfix might have delivered some stuff, but I'm not sure that we're going to have enough content for a first impressions video every week throughout the year, which is why I've been messing around with things like build updates and stuff like that. So we might find as the year progresses that the content gets more build focused. But I still have new products to do, and I still have tools to do and techniques to do. So as I'm building something, if I'm doing something like I did on the Anson and I had a lot of masks to create, that's a good opportunity to do a little video on how I go about doing that. So there'll be a little bit more of that, I think. There is definitely going to be changes during the course of the year. As we get my pre-orders come in, we will do some first impressions with that. It may be that we change things up a little bit and do change the build from a Saturday to a Wednesday and do a live stream on a Saturday. I don't know. There's lots of ideas floating around in my head, and I need to settle on something. And I'm going to let the modelling desk dictate what happens and when. But what I do know is I've got lots of potential for 2023. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting this finished. There's part of me that really wants to get stuck into a German warship. I wanted to last year, never got to it. There's part of me that really wants to get stuck into the Famo diorama, but after this one, probably want to give it a break and do some other stuff first. So with my Warspite stuck in limbo until we can sort out the stern gallery, I may well pick up one of those 1 to 350 scale ships and crack on with that. There's loads that I want to do. I have some 1 to 350 kits that there isn't aftermarket for, so it would just be a straight box build. So the Condorcet, for example, might be an option, or something that we can just build from the box and see what we can make of it. Lots and lots of things to think about. So there is lots coming in 2023. I hope that you guys as subscribers are gonna stay with the journey to see what comes along. I've been having a lot of fun, but I do have one last thing that we need to talk about that I nearly forgot about. And I don't know why I nearly forgot about it, because it's the one thing in 2023 I'm looking forward to most of all. In 2023, probably in March, but nothing is 100% set in stone. Good friend of the channel, Rob at Rims Models, and myself are going to launch our first buddy build. Neither of us have ever done one before. It's something that Rob suggested to me quite some time ago when I was fishing for ideas for the channel. He said, what about doing a buddy build? Obviously channels do them, we've never done them before, so we'll be feeling our way through it. We have discussed it, we know what we're gonna do, so keep your ears out for that announcement coming along soon. Yeah, hopefully some of you will be able to come along and join us for that buddy build. I think it will appeal to most modelers. So if you're a car modeler or a military modeler, I think you'll be able to join in with this and find an excuse for it. So if you've been a subscriber to the channel over the last 2 years, or just a viewer of the channel over the last 2 years, a sincere, massive thank you for all the support that I've had, all the kind words, the words on the videos, the support, the tips, the thoughts. I appreciate them all. Thank you very, very much. If you're one of the small handful of people who can watch my videos, but you've been blocked because of your behaviour, then, you know, I'm sorry, I won't be unblocking you. Once you're blocked, you're blocked. So apologies for that, but you know, if you say something that is needless and pointless and nasty, that's what happens. So I have seen an increase in people coming along and thinking it's appropriate to say something nasty. Very brave when you can't say it to my face, I must say. But if you're one of those people, just think about this. In 2023, if you say something that isn't appropriate, that's going to offend me or one of the subscribers of my channel, you're blocked. That is one thing I can guarantee you will continue to happen in 2023. So don't waste your time. If you've not got something nice to say, don't say it. Right, for the rest of you, the majority of you, the 99.9% of you, thank you so much. I wish you every prosperity for 2023. I hope you have a safe, healthy and constructive year. Thanks for joining me on my journey. You guys take care, enjoy your modelling, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.